Just give me 1 second, guys. Camera's a little further away, so I'm definitely going to need my phone to do this. All right, so we're going to give it a few seconds. Oh, I didn't sign in. All right, here we go. Get about 1 more minute and then we'll get started, and I guess different people will come in at different times. Hopefully everybody who normally joins our chat can make it, but if not, there's always room for new people, always room for more people. All right. All right, so I'm just going to get into it because I'm not a very patient person. I don't like to just wait. So for those who are, not able to come in like right away, but join afterwards, you can catch it on the stream and you'll be able to watch it from beginning to end. So welcome to Intuitive Vibes, Narc Survival 101. It is your girl Erica here. For anybody who is new to the channel, please be sure to stick around. Hi, Cicely. How are you, sweetheart? Please be sure to stick around. You may hear something that you need to know. You may hear another person's story, a situation that may help you with whatever situation you're dealing with. And of course, if you enjoyed today's session, go through some of the other content. I have plenty of videos on here and check them out. If they help you out, definitely, subscribe so that way you're notified each and every time I put up a video. And when we do our lives, which is every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, to all of my returning subscribers, welcome back, guys. I know I normally do my notification like the beginning of the day in the morning, so everyone is notified when I'm coming on. But the majority of the people who consistently have joined the lives every Tuesday have been pretty consistent with it, in knowing that I would be here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Give me 1 second. Hi, Madison. How are you, sweetheart? I don't know, for some reason, YouTube has been really lagging. Like, it's been really, they've been really dragging lately. I don't know what the issue is, but hopefully they'll get that fixed. So guys, I hope you guys had a great weekend, a great start to your week. My week was, it's a rollover from last week. It's been extremely busy, but with work and dealing with my, my own personal life. And oh, thank you, Cicely. I actually wanted to talk a little bit about that too. The video that I put up yesterday, it was a video that was, I know it was kind of random, but you guys know me, I'm a very random person. I put up random videos just to, whoever needs to hear it at the moment, you'll get to get a little gem of wisdom, so to speak. But I wanted to help people really understand the reason why narcissists make them their victims. And I wanted to go more into detail with it. So I figured, I wait until the live to do it, since you guys would be here and, we would all be able to chat about it. But I wanted to really, Madison, random sociopaths online is really something else. These folks are creepy as heck. Like, I don't know. I pray the Lord keeps us all safe and sound, as the spirit gives the utterance random like the wind. Yeah, I mean, well, in the end, I would just say, when it boils down to sociopaths, Madison, they're very back and forth. They're one way one minute, the next way the next. And the truth be told, sociopaths are completely charming people. They're extremely charming people, and they have this really big sense of false humility, you know, which a lot of narcissists, sociopaths, even psychopaths, they use the charm, and that's what makes them different from people who are mentally insane, because there's a big difference between someone who is a psychopath and someone who's mentally insane. But when it boils down to sociopaths, narcs, and psychopaths, everything is with intention. Everything is with motives. Um, I'm sorry, guys. Just give me one moment because someone is asking how they can join, and I'm like, okay, here we go. But their things are motives, which is why a lot of sociopaths and psychopaths, if you notice, like these serial killers, and I think I told you guys this before, they try to plead the whole insanity bid, but the reality of it is, it's everything is done with motives, everything is done with intention, everything is done with a conscience. They're completely conscious of what it is that they are doing. You know, temporary insanity or just, you know, plain old insanity is something that's more instantaneous. It's something that just happens right then and there based on a reaction, you know, cause and effect. That's what it's based on. But these people are, I'm sorry guys, just give me 1 second. I'm just having messaging someone so they can join us. Um, but okay, now let me just get back to you guys. Medicine, like they really are, and you don't even speak, and they have no problem putting you in danger. Yeah, sociopaths, psychopaths, they really have no concern of their own well-being. They do not care. These are people that just live life where, you know, like, what else have I got to lose? I'm already, you know, I'm already who I am. I'm already in the position that I'm in. I'm already living a life the way I really, really don't want to live. But at the end of the day, these types of people really don't, they really don't care about their own well-being, let alone people external to them. They're just pretty much, if I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna take you with me. That's their attitude of it. But yeah, I was and going back to the video that I posted up, why the narcissist chose you, and I emphasized you for a reason. People often think that when they come in contact with a narcissist, I'm sorry, okay, I just got a text message and I cannot answer that right now. People often think that when they come in contact with a narcissist, that, you know, that the narcissist pretty much just, I'm so, now's not the time to be texting me. People often think that when they come in contact with a narcissist, that the narcissist already has it all figured out, has it all planned out, that what they're going to do and how they're going to do it, and so forth and so on, like how they're going to charm you, how they're going to make you the victim, how they're going to do all these things. We know that narcissists walk with motives. We know they walk with intentions. We know that they have an idea of what it is they want. But in the beginning stage of encountering a narcissist, you got to remember something, guys. They don't know you. They don't know you know you. Okay? This is why they study you. This is why they study your mannerisms. They study how you talk. They study how you live your life. They study your schedule. They study a lot of different things about you. But they don't determine, as far as the victimization, they don't determine that right off the bat. It's because the narcissist doesn't know if they're dealing with someone who is either another narcissist, dealing with someone who has very strict and sound boundaries, or if they're dealing with someone who comes from a very codependent background. They don't know any of these things, so they have to basically play it safe. Okay. And one of the reasons why I really decided to do the video was because I wanted to help you guys understand that when you allow someone, and I'm not just talking about a narcissist, I'm talking about anyone, When you allow someone to get away with something that you would not normally allow anyone to get away with, or you would not normally, it just basically crosses your boundaries. And you just pretty much, which we've all been guilty of this, because I've been guilty of it plenty of times, okay? When, let's say, for example, if you come across a narcissist or someone who was being very inconsiderate, okay, very inconsiderate of you and your feelings, and you basically, thought to yourself, well, me, for example, I've mentioned something about it. I mentioned something about the inconsideration, and what I got in return was a like, what's your problem type response. What's your problem? What are you talking about? How can you say I'm being inconsiderate? Even when you put the facts out there. But because I didn't stand firm in how I felt, and I didn't stand firm in trying to set the boundaries and letting this person know that I will not accept inconsideration, I will not accept disregard, because I did not set the boundaries to support that, and I just kind of let it slide and just said, okay, I'll forgive it and I'll just move on from it. That opened the door for them. That opened the door to allow them to pretty much do as they please, and if they were to know that you are the kind of person that wouldn't allow these types of things to happen with anyone else, yet you're allowing them to do all of this, I mean, slip and slide all around you, they will take severe advantage of that, extreme advantage of it. But that's the primary reason why they chose to make you their victim. Anyone of a secure attachment is not going to deal with that. And people of secure attachment are people who have very strict boundaries. They're the kind of people that it just takes, it takes once. You slight me once, or maybe even twice. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But after that, I'm not dealing with you anymore. Or people of secure attachment can see when someone is trying to take advantage of a situation, when someone is trying to be emotionally manipulative, when they're trying to, make them feel jealous, they're trying to make them feel insecure. These are people of secure attachment. They know these types of things because people of secure attachment come from a background, parents, caregivers, who have taught them the rights and wrongs in life, who have taught them love, who have taught them, emotional stability, independence, everything that you can possibly think of in a secure attachment. And because they were taught these things, because they were taught to basically look out for yourself in the world, I'm here to raise you and love you and show you discipline and show you love. But at the end of the day, when you go out into the world, this is what you're going to be facing. This is what their parents taught them. So they came prepared for, not everyone, because we all go through our shit, but they came prepared for certain situations, and they know what they are willing to and not willing to put up with. And when a narcissist comes across someone of a secure attachment, across someone who has the boundaries, who does not give a damn, who says pretty much, you can go screw yourself if you think I'm going to stay in this relationship with you because of whatever reason, and you think it's okay to disrespect me and disregard me and take advantage of me. Those relationships with a narcissist doesn't last. They don't last very long. But a lot of the time, people, victims of narcissistic abuse, they say to themselves, why did I stay with this person so long? Why did I allow all of this to happen? That's where you have to look at your own history. You have to look at your own trauma and whatever history, whatever past you have. Because people who end up staying in these really toxic relationships for extended periods of time, for an extremely long period of time, I mean, we couple the attachment style with the gaslighting and the emotional abuse, the verbal abuse, and it all meshes in there together. But when they chose you to be their victim, it's because you had a weakness somewhere along the lines in your relationship, there was a slight weakness, and ended up taking extreme advantage of that. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just say hello to a few people. Hi, Riri. Welcome. Hi, Marcelo. Hey, Butch. Rukia, you came. Awesome. I hope I said your name right. I'm not really good with names. Hi, Exotic Food. How are you? Let's see. Chatan, welcome, sweetheart. Glad to see you here. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, guys, I don't know if you saw it. I took a picture of it and I have it here sitting right next to me. This is the cactus that I'm trying hard not to touch it because these little things, it actually fell on me. It fell after I took the picture of it. And I tried to fix it. If you notice, it's kind of slanted, so I'm like really scared to touch it because I just don't want to stab myself with it. So I'm just keeping it right here. Okay, so we got the cactus, guys. We got the cactus, and we know where we told them to put it, right? But it is here. It is here. Chatan, Erica, why my ex always supported her even after knowing all her lying and her cheating, her ex narc mother. Well, a lot of them are in denial, Chatan. A lot of them, you got to remember something when you're dealing with someone who is the byproduct, the product of a narcissist. You're dealing with someone who constantly lives their life in denial. Okay, and no matter how much logic you try to throw at them, no matter how much you try to express to them or explain to them the different dysfunctions that's going on around them, they were conditioned to believe that that dysfunction is normal. It's a normal way of living. It's just that's just the way it should be. They were conditioned to believe that this is how, how one, they should be treated, and two, how they should treat people. Okay. The mere fact that she's not trying to come to terms with her narcissist mother probably is because of the fact that her narc mother has greatly gaslit her, manipulated her, and in the end, when it boils down to it, Chatan, when you're dealing with a narcissist, you're dealing with the byproduct of another narcissist. So you're dealing with someone who is the end result of a narcissist parent. Okay, because guys, we remember this: narcissists are created. They're not born that way. They're created to be that way. So everything was incepted, but along the narcissist parent projecting and incepting this, into their child, they are also deceiving their children. They're deceiving them. You know, it's just, how people don't want to go against their own parents. And listen, I get it. I get it. I mean, I do a lot of videos. I do a lot of talks about narcissist mothers, and I'm not afraid to talk about it because in the end, it's something that's extremely important. It's something that you guys really need to know and understand. But dealing with a narcissist mother is, what's the best way to describe it? I mean, dealing with a narcissist mother or a sociopathic mother, it's a very extreme roller coaster. It's an extreme roller coaster. It has its heightened moments. It has its adrenaline moments, but they're always going to, push with that narrative of I'm your mom. Are you going to take everybody's word over mine, or are you going to take this person's word over mine? I'm the one who raised you. Narcissist mothers, they're very good at making their children feel guilty, throwing guilt at them. They're very good at, deflecting blame onto them, not taking any kind of accountability for anything that has happened in the dynamic between them and their children. So she's probably just really in denial about it, extremely in denial. And if your ex is a narcissist, she is basically, she's the extension of her mom. She's the extension of her mother. So her mother has pretty much put all of this on her. And she's probably thinking in her mind, well, why would my mother lie to me? Why would my mother hurt me? Mother is the name for God on the lips and hearts of all children. It's when a child looks at their mother, they're looking at, for lack of a better term, they're looking at a God, because that person is supposed to protect them. That person is supposed to nurture them and not lie to them, not hurt them, not gaslight them, not manipulate them, not do any of those things. They're supposed to protect them. And unfortunately, my guess is that she's just really heavy in denial. She's denying it to its fullest extent. Rukia, my ex once said, I'm afraid I'll hurt you. So most are aware of their behavior and yet still abuse. It's scary. You know, it's interesting. And I mentioned this, Rukia, I mentioned this in one of my other lives. It's a few months back. My ex said something very similar to that. He, when we were having a discussion, I actually brought it up because I just wanted to know where we were in our relationship, you know, in seeing one another. And the conversation, it was very flippy floppy, but he did say, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. And at that time, I didn't think about it. I didn't think about what he was saying, you know, and I'm saying to him, why would you hurt me? Like, you know, you don't seem like the kind of person that would hurt me. And I would always push on to him, you know, just have faith in yourself, have faith in us. You know, guys, we do the whole thing. We do the, you know, you're a good person. I know you are. I know that you wouldn't, you know, you're not capable of doing these things. Like we really project onto them. We project onto them the qualities that we have. We project that onto them. So in the midst of him telling me this, I don't want to hurt you, I didn't take that very, you know, at that time, I didn't take that as I don't want to hurt you, but I know I'm going to hurt you. I know that I'm capable of hurting you. I know what I truly know what my issues are, but I don't want to deal with them. And at the same time, I feel, you know, something towards you. But one of the things I want you guys to understand about narcissists, and please take this very, very, very seriously. Though they are very determined to get what they want, you know, whatever that may be, they have very unrealistic ideas and goals, and they live in a fantasy world. When it boils down to relationships and dynamics, they're emotionally stunted, they're emotionally lazy. Okay, they are mentally stunted and they are mentally lazy. They are probably some of the laziest type of people when it boils down to having a dynamic with them. They, you know, the crazy part about it is that they everyone is different, guys. Everyone is different. Every narcissist is different. You have narcs who won't ask you for shit, and you have narcs who will work their magic to get everything that they possibly can out of you. But when it boils down to what you've done in your relationship with a narcissist, what you have contributed, whether it be materialistic things, whether it be, you know, emotional or psychologically, when it all boils down to it, you can sit there and say to them, after everything that I've done, after everything that I've contributed to make you happy, after everything I've, you know, I've tried to make possible in this whole dynamic, after everything you've done, guys, the one key thing they're probably going to tell you is, I never asked you for those things, because in the interim of your relationship, you were doing a lot of these things on your own. You were, you know, being very generous. You were being very, and by generous, like I said, materialistically, emotionally, and mentally, you were being generous. And they were just throwing you little breadcrumbs throughout your relationship. And because of the fact that you did not, probably at that time, you did not complain about it. You didn't say anything about it. You didn't say, listen, I'm giving 95% and I only see you pulling in 5%. What's going on? But because you kind of, your actions made them feel like, all right, you're satisfied with the 5% I'm giving you, even though you're giving me 9%. It's kind of like, but you know, you can't throw that in my face because you didn't say anything about it. You didn't do anything about it. And when you bring that up, we all know how it goes when a discard comes and you're like, how could you do this? How could you do that? You know, I've done so much for you. I've, you know, given you love and attention and energy and everything. How could you do this to me? Their key response is, I never asked you for those things. Those are things you did on your own. Those were things that you chose to do, even though some of you were in relationships with narcissists that gave you the little subliminals for you to do these things. Some of you were in relationships with narcissists who were, you know, kind of like that. What commercial is that with the guy with the fishing pole with the dollar bill, and he's like, "Oh, you got to be faster with, you know, faster than that." Some you have narcissists that are like that too, where you're trying to reach up and grab whatever little you can from that 5%. And unfortunately, some of you were in narcissists who were just so accustomed to what you have contributed that they became expecting of these things. And if you did not comply, if you did not provide these things, if you did not give them what they wanted, then of course they threw their hissy fits, or you know, they would try to triangulate. They'll try to do certain things to get a little rise out of you, or to get you to understand that this is how I operate. And if you don't, you know, if you're not with the program, this is what can happen. Kind of like when I did the crash course, and I told you guys that a female narcissist in a relationship will let you know that if you don't comply with her, in so many words, guys, not in those exact words, but in so many words, what you won't do, another man will do. Or if you don't comply with me, another man will be more than glad to do so. And she will throw her harem in your face. Well, look at all these other men that want me. And here you are, you have me, and you can't even satisfy me. So be very, very, very careful with that. Oh, okay, Chatan. In your case, your ex-narc's mother was the enabler. I thought you said her mother was the narc. I'm sorry. I misread your other statement. But it does work in that case too, just in case anybody is dealing with someone who has a narcissist mother. So guys, just take that. Hi, Raphael. Um, okay, so if in you said in my case, my ex-narc's mother was the enabler and her father was the tyrant, but her mother always covered up for her. Well, yeah. And that's the job of enablers. Enablers are the ones who clean up the messes. Enablers are the ones who have to, you know, they're the ones who have to make sure that everybody, it's like a play. If you guys have seen my video on the narcissist family, okay, and I gave you the different roles in the family of narcissists, and it's funny because in that video I put the father, you know, the tyrant. He was the main narcissist, and then you had the enabler, which was the wife. Keep in mind, guys, the roles can be reversed. It doesn't have to be just a male narc and a female enabler. But the tyrant is the one who is pretty much has everybody on their toes. Okay. And everybody has to basically sit, you know, prim and proper, and they have to be the ones to play their roles. It's like a play. Okay. It's like a play. There you got mommy, you got daddy, you got the little kids, and you know, you have external family members. The tyrant is the one who will clearly project, clearly lash out, clearly do whatever it takes to make everybody else's life miserable if they feel miserable, if they feel like things aren't going their way. Okay, so like you can't have a narcissist father and let's say he has, you know, 2 children and a wife, and he's miserable out of his mind, and he's just completely unhappy, you know, discontent, and the wife and the kids, you know, well, listen, that's, you know, what you're dealing with. When you're ready to sit and talk about it, it's not going to happen that way. If the narcissist father, if he is the tyrant, if he's the one who is very vengeful, lashes out, creates chaos, causes drama, you know, and just basically tries to instill fear in everyone, everyone has to stay on cue. The enabler, the mother, which we're very familiar with these types of dynamics, guys. She's the one responsible for cleaning everything up. She's the one responsible for showing the world that we're one big happy family. We're okay. We're happy. And the reason being is because the enabler is so deep in that dynamic. Okay, she's so deep. And the reason she's in so deep is because the tyrant, he has his good days. He has his good days. He has his days when he comes and brings her flowers and he tells her he loves her, or he'll buy her stuff, or he'll give her some kind of good treatment. So it's that reward and punishment behavior. It's that, if I'm happy and I'm satisfied, I'm going to, come home feeling good and I love you and all this stuff or whatever. But if I'm not, if I'm miserable, or if, somebody does something to slight me, or somebody does something that, that was not approved by me, or was not, that made me look bad, everybody's going to feel the lashing. Everybody's going to feel it. In actuality, I really believe that a male narcissist in a family setting, the father, more physically dangerous, okay? Because he has probably more strength than the mother, than the wife, okay? Which we've heard about a lot of these domestic violence relationships where, the man uses his power, his masculinity, his ability to really, really come down hard on his wife and kids, but more physically dangerous, more, it's his rage has a more fearful effect on his family than the mother, if the mother was a narcissist. Okay? If the mother narcissist would be more manipulative, she would be more cunning, more conniving. So the mother narc, the female narc, the mom, she's more the mental one. She's the mental one. She's the one that is just very scheming, very, covert. I find narcissist mothers to be more covert, but you do have overt narc moms. You do have the narc moms that have no shame in their game, and everybody knows that she's a narcissist. She's very annoying. They don't even want to really deal with her or bother with her, but because she's family, it is what it is. But the fathers, the narc fathers, they're more scary in that they instill the fear. They have that fear that they can instill in their wife, in their children. And the enabler, the mom, most people would say, why would the mother do that? Why not just get up and leave? Why not just, why not just take your kids and run away? Some do eventually. Some do if the abuse gets way worse than it is. But others, they don't. They don't. They stay in the dynamic, and it could be for a number of reasons. They could be financial reasons, financial ties. It can be codependency issues where, the narcissist has completely obliterated her sense of confidence, completely just has drained her to the point that she has no type of confidence that if she leaves this dynamic, if she can leave, because sometimes male narcissists, narc fathers, can be so controlling and so possessive that they can even threaten death. They can threaten, like, beyond the extremes. They can threaten their families. They can threaten their wives. You take me, you take my kids, or if you ever leave me, I'll kill you. Like, that's how bad it can get, guys. That's how extremely bad it can get. But a lot of them stay for a number of reasons. And as sad as it is, and it's a very scary situation. It's very, it's a hard pill to swallow. I wish I could do more about, situations like that when it boils down to people in marriages, domestic violence type marriages. Because you better believe if you're dealing with a narcissist and you're married to one, chances are you may be dealing, with extreme domestic violence. Riri, my ex narc's new girlfriend has been in 58 of my IG stories. I didn't block her. I'm kind of validated by it. I screenshot every time she's in my stories. One of the things that I can truthfully say, guys, as survivors, and as those who were victims, yes, it's It does kind of give you a sense of validation. A lot of victims of narc abuse do get that sense of validation, and they, some of them look for it, some of them do. It can give you a validating kind of feeling, absolutely. Um, but I guess it depends on where the person is in their healing, because I like I just blocked everybody. I blocked everybody out. I get a lot of fake pages that check my stories out when I do put them up. I've had people save my photos from Instagram. They've saved them. I don't know why. It's weird, but they save my photos. And I'm pretty sure, like, I have a lot of requests on Facebook. A lot of them are fake pages. I'm not going to assume anything, but at the end of the day, I'm not into this whole adding fake pages and having people monitor me. When it boils down to the whole monitoring thing, me personally, I just feel more validated in knowing that I managed to overcome my codependency, and I managed to get out of that. I managed to just get out of that whole dynamic. I managed to just leave it behind. So much so to the point that I don't bother. I don't pay mind to anything that anybody does or says. I don't even look for anything. But a lot of the time when it boils down to especially after a discard, whether it be you discarded them or they discarded you, you do have victims and survivors who do somewhat feel validated in knowing that you're moving on with your life, and the narcissist is kind of keeping tabs, or the people they're dealing with are keeping tabs on you. um, but I would just strongly, when people try to do things like that, she knows that you can see her seeing your stories. We all know that we can see the page, the name, and the page of the person who looks at our IG stories. Um, I don't know if maybe she's doing that to kind of like get you to react or respond. I don't want to like incept anything in your mind, but at the same time, just be careful with it, Riri, because a lot of the time, you don't know what that person, the narc, told that person about you. And you know I personally like to steer clear of any flying monkeys and anybody who's monitoring the things I do. um Raphael, the kids of the narcs are slaves. They are their servants. Absolutely. That's exactly what they are. If the narc parent or the narc parents don't abandon their children, they end up making them their servants. They end up keeping them around to pretty much serve them and take care of them. Rukia, does he still try to contact you? No. No. I don't, at least I don't think so. I don't think so. I haven't spoken to him in what, 2 years? 2.5 years. Well, I bumped into him about December of 2018, I think. I think it was 2018. October, November of 2018. I bumped into him. Um, but no, I don't think he tries to reach out to me. Um, if he does, he's doing it under a fake account, because there is no I have him blocked on everything. I have him blocked. I have his family blocked. Um, I do know like a few friends. We have like a couple of mutual friends, but I don't. They don't ask me questions. They don't bother. Like, hey, have you spoken to him or nothing? Nothing. I'm like, don't ask, don't tell. What I do is my business. What he does is his business, and that's it. Um, but I no, he hasn't. He has not reached out to me. I really don't think he would, considering now of all the stuff that I'm doing. Narcissists will, they'll only reach out really if they think they have a chance. If they think they have a chance. And considering the fact that Rukia, he never even apologized to me for anything. Um, and he knows that it would take, or first and foremost, it would have to take someone's pride to really drop down. Like, you really have to drop your pride and your ego and face the consequences. You know, the one thing narcissists, they love playing the victim so well. They play the victim so well, but they fail to understand that they are a victim of their own circumstances. We didn't make them victims. We actually tried to do what their parents wouldn't do for them. You know, we tried to give them, we tried to show them, we tried to help them, we tried to love them, we tried to do all of these things. All of these things their parents were responsible for. Their parents were responsible to do it, but they didn't. And because we tried to do these things for them, we end up getting the shitty end of the stick because they end up getting triggered. And amazingly enough, they not only hurt us, but they run back to the same people who put them in the position that they're in. So but at the end of the day, no, Rukia, no, he hasn't, and I don't think he will. I'm pretty sure he is well aware of how I feel about the situation, in light of the fact that I've created an advocacy program surrounding the entire situation. And in light of the fact that he knows that I peep some shit that you can't come back from. You can't come back from it. So he has too much pride and ego, and the idea of possibly being rejected, he wouldn't like it. He just basically is like, what's the point? I'm gonna be rejected anyway. What's the point? I didn't even apologize to her. I didn't say anything to her. And me personally, I don't give a shit anyway. So it don't really matter. Everybody's on block. Let me just put it that way. Everybody's on block. One question, Erica, is your son with that guy? No, he's not. He is not. He is, he's someone of a more recent relationship, like a few years ago. Well, I can even say recent. It's been, what are we in 2021? I met him 5 years ago. So no, he's not. And it's really, what's crazy about it is that when it boils down to my son, like you guys know I love my son. And even though me and his dad are not together, we have not been together for years. He's, me and his dad have our history. We have our own feelings towards each other in regards to our history. But the one thing I can say is that when it boils down to my son's actual father, my son's father, very good dad. Very, very good dad. He takes care of his son. He loves his son. I've never seen a bond and a relationship so strong. And it's in light of the dynamic I see with my son and his father that, that just purely demonstrated to me the kind of man I would not bring around my son, the kind of man I would not allow around my son. And someone of a narcissistic nature, whether they're a full-blown narcissist or they're just extremely narcissistic, someone of a narcissistic nature is not someone you need to have around your children, guys. Not around your children, okay? These people can be very volatile. They can be very unstable. They can be, they can flip. They could flip, be okay 1 minute and then just flip the next. And if you have children and you value your children and you value healthy environments around your children, you do not allow these people around your children. Don't allow them around your kids, even though they have kids of their own. But chances are, the way they talk to you, if they talk to you like shit, if they talk to you like dirt, if they talk to you condescendingly, or just like with just out of straight tyranny, they talk to their kids that way too. If they are involved in their kids' life, they talk to their kids that way. And if someone, I looked at it this way. If you have, if I'm dealing with a guy and they have, a child, one would think you have a child, you have a mother, you have different females. in your life. Like I cannot deal with a man who finds it okay to disrespect someone else's daughter, but will sit there and be a hypocrite if a man disrespects his daughter. I can't be okay with that. I can't be okay with that. But at the end of the day, you know, this person that I was dealing with, this person that I was involved with, was past tense. We are no longer together. We're no longer dealing with each other. I am no longer on the radar with him. The one thing I did tell him when everything was happening the way it was, which was really at the time really horrible. I asked him, I said, how could you do this to someone's daughter? I'm like, I'm someone's daughter. You have a daughter. How could you do that? How can you purposely do certain things to hurt me, knowing that it was going to hurt me? And instead of him saying, I'm sorry, Erica, I didn't mean to make you feel that way or whatever, I got a phone call and I got cursed out. I got my ass chewed out on the phone. I mean, like, on some, really, honestly speaking, and I'm 100 with you guys, I got called, the way he spoke to me, it sounded like two teenagers. I had just given him my virginity and he's asking me, why are you on my dick? That's how the conversation, that's the essence of the conversation. So yeah, you can imagine how bad my discard was. It was extremely bad, guys. But coming from someone who has a daughter, who, you know, says he loves his daughter and, you know, would be willing to do anything for his daughter, he had no issues or quarrels mistreating someone else's daughter. He had no quarrels, you know, showing how manly he was in that aspect. And unfortunately, I didn't know about narcissism. I didn't know about anything until maybe almost a year later, when I started to like go on my journey of my healing. That's when I learned about it. And, you know, it's hard to deal with, guys. Trust me. This is why I say I know what you're going through. For a lot of you who are just going through it, a lot of you who are, you know, trying to make sense of things. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, guys, because I'm seeing comments here and I'm seeing them here. Let me just go back for a second. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody, because you guys know I don't like to. No. Oh, Rukia, thank you. Yeah, he's my life. He's my heart and soul, and I had to think about my son. I had to think about him. And it's crazy because even for a split second, guys, if you have children and you are, you know, you've been with a narcissist, you're dealing with one, you're dealing with a discard right now, wherever you are at, it is perfectly normal for us to have a selfish moment, even for a split second, because we're thinking about ourselves. Yes, we're thinking about ourselves. We're thinking about our pain. We're thinking about, you know, how could it go from 0 to 500 in a matter of this span? And the only reason we think the way we do during a discard or after a discard is because we focus on the good times. A lot of the time, if you notice during a discard, if you've gone through it or if you're going through it right now, in the midst of your discard, you're wondering to yourself, but we had good times together. You are trying to reason with yourself, you know, but this person, I don't understand. Maybe he's just stressed out. Maybe she's just going through some stuff. Maybe this, maybe that. You really try to convince yourself. And it's because your mind is focusing on the good times. It's focusing on the moments when you felt good. Okay, when that dopamine was hitting your head, when it was just coming out of you and you were like, oh my God, you felt so in love and it felt delicious and it felt great and wonderful. And admittedly, we forget, for those who have children, we forget about our kids. For that split second, we forget about our kids because we're so focused on what the hell just happened. but how did this happen? And how did this? And logic is not hitting you. Logic is not hitting you during your discard. It's not hitting you after your discard. It's not hitting you anywhere, even in your relationship, because you are so fixated on this whole dynamic. Okay, this whole entire dynamic. Being with the narcissist, you were in a stage of worship, guys, because you were willing to walk to the ends of the earth to give this person or these people what they wanted, to give them something that they basically made it clear to you they never experienced, when it's bullshit, because they have experienced it. There was someone else before you trying to give them the same thing that you were trying to give them. They're inherently unsatisfiable people. You can't satisfy a narcissist because they're not even satisfied with themselves. That's why they project onto people. That's why they project it onto you in your weakest moments. They project it on all that hurt, all that pain, all that anger, all that, the disgusting things they said and did. They projected that onto you because that was how they were feeling about themselves. And because you were the closest thing near them, you became that emotional punching bag. But in the interim of all of this, we didn't think, and again, it's normal because your body, your mind, your soul, everything's trying to process it. But I didn't think about my son. I didn't think about my son at that precise moment. I wasn't thinking about my son. And I had to learn how to forgive myself for that, because I always put my son first. I always do what I need to do for my son first. And people who know me know that I do everything possible to take care of my son and make sure that he has a healthy, safe environment. And I was not thinking about that. And after I saw everything from, I'm even going to go back some, because even in the midst of our relationship, you notice how when you go through a discard, you kind of go backwards and you start to reanalyze everything in your relationship. Hey, Heather. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Andrea. When after you're going through a discard, you kind of go back to reanalyze everything. You go back to say, wait a minute, okay. Because now your logic is kicking in. Your logic is starting to kick in, and your logic is trying to tell you, okay, you calm? Are you calm, Erica? You calm down? You had your coffee? You good? Okay. Sit down, because we're going to go all the way back. Because now you got to go back and see everything. Because now you have to give yourself every reason to understand why you need to stay away from this person, why you need to stay away from these people. Okay? Because what good are your children if their mother, if their father is in a mental institution, is going through severe depression, is having anxiety attacks, is having panic attacks? Who are your kids going to have to rely on? And I had to literally go back and understand. And once I understood and I saw everything, I said, no, this is not the kind of person I want around my son. I don't want my son learning from this. And I don't want to risk that. My son is autistic. My son has autism. And if you have a narcissist who can easily be triggered or easily snap or easily, go into a fit of rage, and my son has a mental disability. So if my son does something, or it basically, whatever the case may be, and this person decides to just be reactive, not with my kid. Not with my kid. And I had to look at that. I had to look at all of that. So I threw my feelings to the side and I said, instead of me trying to figure out every reason, because we all been there, guys. We've been there. We try to figure out different ways to maybe see how we can convince them, how we can, show them that they're making a mistake and show them that what they're doing is, it's not right. It's unfair. I went from looking for every reason to try to show this person why I think we should be together, to every logical reason as to why I need to stay the fuck away from this person. And it's because of that little boy. Okay? It's because of me, but it's more so because of that little boy. Yes. Yep. Madison, absolutely. You have to keep your kids as far away from them as possible. Rukia, I broke no contact last week and went back to my ex after he sent me countless messages apologizing. Soon as I went back, he became distant and cruel for no reason. Is that normal? Yes, it is very normal because one, he wanted to see in just what you said, control. He wanted to see that he still has access to you. Two, pretty much if you were going to fall for it's called a Hoover. Okay. And that's really what it was. It was a Hoover. The constant messaging, the apologizing, the, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. I'm sorry, I know the errors of my ways. I'm sorry, I saw the light. I'm sorry, God came to visit me in my sleep. All right. The devil will come in the form of light. Okay. Because the devil was once an angel. And once he managed to get you to break no contact and he managed to get you to come back thinking that he changed, thinking that, he is a reformed person, that he is, he's the man he needs you to be. Once you came back and he saw that, oh shit, at the snap of a finger, I can get her to come back. He went right back to his shit. He went right back to his shit because he knew how to find a way to tug at your heartstrings. He knew that you still have feelings for him. He knew, tell me something, Rukia. How long has it been since you guys initially split? Okay, I'm not talking after you broke no contact. I'm talking about before that, when you initially split. Because I'm going to tell you something. Being in a dynamic with a narcissist and releasing from the trauma bond, releasing from that whole dynamic, that's going to take a while. That's going to take a while. So if you tell me that your split was like, say, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, that is not enough time. That is not enough time to get through the psychological, the emotional, the spiritual, the energetic. That's not enough time to get through all those phases before you completely release someone and let them go. And in some cases, some people are still working on that. We're talking years. We're talking years. So if they come to you 3 months ago, yeah, 3 months is not enough, hon. It's not enough. That's not enough. That's not enough time. In fact, they probably, I don't know this person, but if this person was either watching you or just, inherently knew that, just give it a little bit, like, if he was dealing with new supply and that didn't work out, whatever the case may be, 3 months after a breakup, after a narcissistic breakup, that's not enough time. That really is not enough time. And a lot of them know that. They know that. They know that you're still in your feelings. He knew that you were still in your feelings. He knew. Yeah. Yeah. He knew that you were still in your feelings, and he knew that you still cared about him, and he knew that you still love him, and he knew all of these things, because if the discard happened where he discarded you for new supply or whatever the case may be, a couple of months went by and you're like, all right, fine, I'm going no contact. He saw that you were going no contact. He saw that you were creating certain types, you were trying to, because even within a couple of months, you're trying to digest things. So you're trying to create boundaries. He saw all of that, and he probably said to himself, I wonder if she's serious. She doesn't want to deal with me no more. We'll see. And he tried and he tried and he tried. He went harder. He went harder. He went deeper on it. And then boom, he tugged at your heartstrings, whatever way he did. And he got you to break no contact. And he got you to come back to him after however way you guys broke up before. And if you weren't the one who wanted the breakup, if it was him and he decided that, you know what, I found better over here or whatever, you're not doing it for me, somebody else is doing it for me, and, common narcissistic discard tactics. He knew that 3 months would not be enough to get over. They say the amount of time to get over someone, it's compared to the amount of time you were with the person. So like if you were with a person a year, it may take up to a year to get over maybe 6 months, but it depends. If you were with them for 5 years, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's under a normal relationship. That's under normal circumstances. Okay. Two people, if they were together for years and it was just, it was a breakup, infidelity, whatever, that still takes time. It still takes time to get over someone. But when you're dealing with a narcissist and you're trying to break free from a trauma bond, it's not happening in 3 months. And that asshole knew it. And he knew what he was doing when he decided to hit you back up, when he decided to send you all those messages, giving you false promises, I'm sure, the most insincere apologies, even though he tried to make it seem like they were very sincere. Their apologies are bullshit. They're bullshit. Their apologies to me would be like one square of toilet paper. And after I've taken a huge dump, that's what their apology would be compared to. It's bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit. And this is why I try to tell people all the time, if someone, I don't give a damn if they're a narcissist or not, if someone decided to make you an option after you have gone through so much to make them a priority, they decided to make you an option because they thought that, oh, well, you know what? This looks good. This looks like it could be better. And in the interim, manipulated and lied to you and try to gaslight you and make you feel like you were the one going crazy. You were the one thinking things up in your head. You were the one seeing things. They try to make you feel like you were the one who was insecure. You were out of your damn mind. All the while they were making you an option, but they were not being direct with you because they weren't sure if what they were trying to get would be secure enough. Yet, and in the interim of all of that, they would not give you clarity. They wouldn't give you anything. They would just be like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm just asking for some space. Relax. It's not that serious and blah, blah. Who the hell says we need to go on a break? Who says that? Who says we need to go on a break? Let's take a break. For what? For what? You take a break from work, okay? You take a break from work. You take a break from working out. You take a break from doing, from doing chores, whatever. You take a break from eating ice cream every damn day. You don't take a break from your relationship. You don't sit there and say, we need to take a break. Nah, motherfucker, either we gonna work through this or we not. Okay? I don't do breaks. I don't do breaks. And when someone tells you we need to take a break, it's usually because, especially if you're under the impression that things are fine, things are going okay, we have our issues, but I'm working on myself. The only fucking reason you're working on yourself is because that asshole decided to make you feel like something was wrong with you. Something was wrong with you, and because you are starting to see through certain things, you are starting to you're starting to open your mouth. You're starting to tell them how you feel. You're starting to not put up with their shit. And you're starting to say, listen, what's going on here? Because let me calm down. I'm going to calm down. Let me try to calm down for a second. I'm going to try to calm down, guys. You guys know how I get. It pisses me off. It pisses me off. If someone tells you, let's go on a break, let's just see what happens. How the fuck are you going to tell me, let's see what happens? And we were together for 4 years. We were together 5 years. We were together 3 years. You're just, okay, well, all of a sudden, I don't know how many of you have gone through this, but all of a sudden, well, can we be friends? Where the hell did that come from? It's simply this, because they figured that the grass was greener on the other fucking side. Okay? Failing to understand that the grass is only greener where you water it. Stop being a lazy fucktard and actually do the work. And that way you can have a sustainable relationship. You can be in a healthy dynamic, and you wouldn't have to sit here trying to be so codependent, because that's how narcissists are. They're codependent on other people for their supply. And at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. My relationship, listen, Was it perfect? No, it was not. We had our moments, we had our issues, we had our arguments. We had, I had my insecurities, he had his. But how it ended, how it veered, it was simply, it was, yo, why am I getting all this the blame was put on me. Erica was the one to blame. Erica was the reason why the relationship didn't work out. Erica was the toxic one. Erica was the one who wanted to be in control, who was constantly insecure, who was constantly badgering, constantly accusing, when the reality of it was, and I don't give a damn who is watching, besides, of course, my lovely survivors. You guys know I love you, but I don't give a damn who is watching that may be from my ex's side, that may be monitoring me and what it is I'm doing or trying to see what's going on. But at the end of the day, Erica was none of those things, because Erica was trying to help this person. Erica was trying to love this person unconditionally, flaws and all. And what Erica got in return was, it's stale, it's boring, I just want to be friends. After giving 3 years to this person, okay, having to wait almost a year just to establish a relationship, but give all this to this person, for this person to not only tell me this, but treat me like shit in the process. I know what you guys are going through. And anyone who sits here and tells you, it's when you ask them, is it someone else? Is there someone else? What are you talking about? That's not a direct fucking answer. Is there someone else? Why don't you just be honest and tell me? Why don't you tell me that there is someone else, so that way, but you see, that's clarity, guys. That's clarity. And with a narcissist, you can't get clarity. You can't get clarity. And at the end of the day, I've configured, because my ex and his many other, either his ex or many other people that he's dealt with in his past, he's managed to have friendships with them. He wanted to put me in that same fucking harem. He can go fuck himself with it. Because at the end of the day, I don't kiss no man's ass. Not even his. And because he thought, because, oh, ladies, I'm talking to the ladies because I'm a lady myself, okay, guys? But you ladies, I've seen pictures of a lot of you ladies, and a lot of you women are beautiful. A lot of you are beautiful, okay? And the fact of the matter is, y'all made them look good. You made them look good. So much so to the point that other females, because you made them look good and because you made your relationship look good and you worked extra hard to make that relationship look good, other females started to pick up on that, because we all know how females are, right? And because they started to pick up on that and they started to see, oh, well, you know what? This looks, got a girlfriend and they looking all happy and this and this and that, or whatever the case may be. They start giving that attention. Little friend requests start coming here and there. This is why I don't do social media when it comes to relationships. I don't do relationships when it comes to social media. But little things here and there. And what happens? They get a little, what's the word for it? They start to like smell themselves. They start to, get that little like, oh, I'm getting noticed over here. And all of a sudden this person is paying more attention to me, and that's going on. And what happens? Listen, people are, we err by nature, guys. We err by nature. We're human. Okay. We fail God. We fail ourselves. It is what it is. But the minute someone's ego starts to get stroked out of fucking nowhere, because apparently your validation, your ego stroking it's good. It's all right, but it's not nearly as good as all of this out here. The devil will always tempt, sweetheart. He will always tempt. So what happens? Because somebody or a couple of people tickled their fancy, they thought they were the shit. So because their ego got stroked by other people, by mounds of supply, and because they've already depleted you and depleted your sense of confidence, they've depleted you to the point where they've not only made you insecure, they made you question your value, they made you question if you were even good enough to have a relationship or be with someone like them. They made you question all these things. They have you sitting in that damn corner, hovering over yourself, just trying to figure out what more can you do, and had you feeling like, you know what? I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And all while they're getting their ego stroked on the outside. And their ego being stroked feels so damn good that it's like, you know what? Can I do better? I think I can do better than this person. But what if? There's always a but what if. And then what happens? They want to go on a break. Just want to take a break. Just want to take a break. We need to take a break in our relationship. We need to just, I need to find myself. I need to figure out things in my life. I need to figure out what needs to, and you're sitting there looking at them like, are you freaking serious? So you mean to tell me we had all these years together and now all of a sudden you need to find yourself? Now all of a sudden you need to figure things out? Now all of a sudden you're not equipped to be in a relationship? It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And then when you're trying to figure out, because you're trying to gain clarity, it's a big no-no for a narcissist, because you being a survivor, once being a victim, you getting clarity, you getting closure means that it's over for them. So everything they screwed you over for, because that's pretty much what they did, guys. They screwed you over. They screwed you over for all that external bullshit, all that superficial bullshit. They screwed you over for that. And because now you're left to pick up those pieces and just create manageability in your own life, on your own, doing your own thing by yourself. You got to do this all by yourself. They think they could just waltz back in and just be like, hey, I know I fucked up, but, I had some time to think and reflect. And yeah, I had some time to think and reflect too. Okay. And I got 3 words for you. With a cactus. Okay? All that shit you guys went through, and then they have the audacity to try to just be like, oh, let me just try to see if I can, man, bro, I'm gonna start doing recordings. And if you want, I'll send them to you. So in case they try to call you, or if they try to just play the recording for them. Just play the recording for them. Oh, but it fell. It fell before. My cactus fell. When I was recording the video for why the narcissist chose you to be their victim, there was stuff falling off of my walls, like literally falling down from my walls. And there were so many distractions going on during the recording of the video. I had to re-record continuously because every single time something was happening. And my cactus was sitting on the shelf where the things were falling from the wall. And I didn't catch it in time. Knocked the cactus right on the floor. Knocked it out of the pot. And I had to try to put it back in. But if you notice, it's kind of hard when you don't have gloves to put a cactus back into the pot like this. So I tried my best, and don't judge me. I tried. I'll fix it. Yeah, Andrea, they're time wasters, man. They waste your time. It's just like, it's you didn't ask for much. You gave more than what you should have given. And at the end of the day, it's like, damn, like I got the shitty end of the stick. When I went through it, it hurt, guys. It hurt me like hell. It hurt me beyond belief. And I could not believe that someone who told me that, they loved me, and it seemed real, like if they did, but I just come to the conclusion that I don't think he loved me. I think he loved the idea that not only did I make him look good, but the mere fact that he finally had someone who was willing to submit to him and let him have control and let him have the power and, let him know that I'm all about you. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you. There's nothing. And at that time, there was nothing I wouldn't have done for him. There was nothing I wouldn't have done for him. I would have I'd have given him blood if I needed to. I'd have done anything for him. But now, Listen. Listen. Amanda, those gloves I have are plastic. They're not like industrial type gloves. And you've had your experience with the cactus to where you've pricked your fingers too. So those gloves, that these little spiky things will poke right through those gloves. I agree. I get, you know what, Green? I get emotional. I get emotional because when I hear different stories and people email me and people message me and they tell me, oh yeah, but this happened. I've been there. I've been there. And it's not just with this particular relationship. I've learned that the string of my relationships that I've had in my past were with narcissistic men. Were with narcissistic men. Okay. And when I was 17 years old, I was involved with a sociopath. I was involved with a sociopath. And I was, I was going through my motions in life. I ran away from home. And this person that I was dealing with, offered me a place to stay. I mean, it was a rough time for me. But when I decided that I wanted to go back home and I wanted to work things out, and I wanted to figure things out with my life, I did not want to add on more issues into my life. And I told them, listen, I'm going through a lot. I got to try to figure things out with my mom and in my house. And, right now I just don't think, and I was 17 at the time. I don't think it's a good idea to be in a relationship right now, to be in this dynamic right now. I want to try to figure things out. I'm still young and I want to figure out how I'm going to finish school, go to college and things like that. He did not take that very well. He did not take it very well. So much so to the point he tried to kill me. He tried to kill me that very day that I told him, I just want to work on my life. I want to finish school and do what I have to do. He literally grabbed me by my neck and lifted me up by my neck, lifted me up against the wall and threw me into the apartment. He threw me into his apartment, slammed me on top of a speaker that was in the hallway of that apartment, slammed me on top of it, had his hands around my throat, choking the crap out of me and kicking me while I was on the floor. When I got up from that, mind you, this was in his house, his mother, his brothers, his family was there. Okay? His family was there watching him do all of these things. And when he lifted me up, after he realized everything that was going on, took me to the bathroom, he was cleaning off my face. I had tears, I had snot coming down. I did not know what the hell to do. Okay? I lived in the projects my entire life, well, most of my life. And where he lived, the project building he lived in was on the 13th floor. Now, you tell me if I was going to risk getting into the elevator or trying to escape from someone, the 13th floor of a building, and not even know what the hell was going to happen. So I had to play along with him and I had to agree to everything. I shook my head. I'm like, okay, yes, no problem. He's like, I'm sorry. He gave me a quick apology right after it happened. Right after he damn near choked me to death. Gave me the apology and said, I'm going to take you. I was when I had ran away, I was staying by my stepfather's house. And when we walked out of the building, he was trying to calm me down because he didn't want people to see my reaction, see my face or anything. Walked me all the way over to my stepfather's house. And people looked at me and I'm holding myself. Okay. I had no idea the damage that he had done. When I got to my stepfather's house, I turned around, he disappeared. I get upstairs, I had a white shirt on. The back of my shirt, red. The back of my shirt was filled with blood. Because when he slammed me on top of that speaker, the speaker had the four corners and it cut up my whole back. The cops came. After my stepdad brought me to my mom, back to my mom, the cops came, they took pictures. I had bruises all around my neck. I had bruises on my chest. I had bruises on my arm and on my back. It was all cut up. And the crazy part about it is, after dealing with all of that, I moved out of Brooklyn. This happened when I lived in Brooklyn. I moved out of Brooklyn and I moved to Queens. Years later, I went back to Brooklyn, went back to my old neighborhood. And the funny part, it's funny. I walked right past him and he didn't even recognize me. Didn't even recognize me. And I didn't want him to. I did not want him to. I have been in relationships where I have been abused mentally, emotionally, financially, physically. I was abused. And I didn't learn my lesson until recently when I dealt with my last relationship, because I think my brain finally snapped. My brain just said, enough's enough. My heart said, enough's enough. I can't. My heart literally spoke to me, guys. I can't take any more pain. I can't take it anymore, Erica. I know you want to see the good in people, but I can't take it anymore. I can't take any more abuse. I can't take any more pain. And I got so fed up, guys. And I got so tired. And I said, fuck this. And I turned to stone. I turned to stone. And I said, I don't want to be in a relationship with anybody. I don't want to be involved with anyone. I don't want, and you can ask Amanda, because Amanda's been by my side for the past few years. And I do not want anything with anybody, for my sake and for their sake. And I had stayed that way ever since. I learned that my codependency was what was keeping me in these relationships with these people. It wasn't what was attracting me. It was what was keeping me in these relationships. And did I learn after the first time? No. Did I learn after the second time? No. Did I learn after the third? No. But it got so much to the point that I just could not do it anymore. And I decided, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'd rather be alone and be happy and be at peace than be in a relationship with someone who's going to treat me like I'm nothing, who's going to treat me, reject me, who's going to hurt me, who's going to just, act like I owe them. No, I won't do it. And you know what, Chatan? I am going to tell you, and Andrea, yeah, I'm going to tell you that was an experience that I pray to God no one ever goes through. And amazingly enough, that guy used to walk around with a knife, and it was one of like those, like, it looked like a switchblade, but it was much thicker, and it had a smooth edge on one side and a really curved, like rigid edge on the other side. And that was what I was afraid of. I was afraid that he was going to pull that knife out. That he was going to pull that knife out and he was going to stab me with it. You know how many people they found in the projects, in the hallways, dead? Either they were shot dead or they were stabbed to death. And it's crazy because I was wearing a silver chain, and it had the cross, a silver chain with the cross, which broke when he grabbed me by my neck and he lifted me up, and with all that force he threw me in the apartment. But I strongly believe that God was with me. God was with me. God saw me out of that building. He saw me safe back at home. He saw me, out of that area, and gave me another chance. He gave me another chance. I could have been killed that day. I could have been, somebody that they would have found in one of the hallways, and next thing you know, I would have been on the freaking front of the newspaper, but I thank God every day that it didn't happen. And little by little, over time, I learned how to try to discern better. But you know what? We're not perfect. We go through it. We go through the motions. It does happen. But I'm here today, and that's the important thing about it. But dealing with everything that I have gone through, I just decided to stay away from love. I decided I don't want love. I don't want to be in love. I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to be with anyone. I'm not going to invest in anyone until I am fulfilled with my investments in myself. Once I feel completely fulfilled, that I feel like I've accomplished, and I feel that, you know what, I have everything prioritized and I'm good in my life, then maybe. And that's a big maybe. But until then, love is not in the cards for me, guys. Oh, Green, I thank you for being a part of it. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm glad I could be here with you guys. I'm glad I could talk with you guys about it. I never really was able to talk about these kinds of things before, but now that I'm so open about things, and I'm so, because you have different people going through different forms of domestic violence, I'm so glad that I can just be here to talk with you guys. Whether it be on here or if you guys message me, I'm just glad that you don't have to go through it alone. You don't have to be alone for any of it. You got plenty of people here who, I love you too, Heather. You got plenty of people here who will support you and be there for you. Universal, what exactly are you talking about? Because I didn't mute you. Amanda, we'll I guess we'll talk about that later. I don't know what this guy is talking about, but if you have to go and he says that he thumbed down this live because he was muted, that he didn't say anything disrespectful. I don't know what the heck he's talking about, but now he's talking about going on a rampage on my channel and giving all my videos a thumb down. Oh well. Yeah, I don't understand what's up with that. Hi EJ, how are you? How old were you when you dealt with the narcissist? Uh I dealt with quite a few of them. That particular person, I was 17. I was 17 at the time. I guess you could say that was like my no, no, that wasn't my first time. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much. I think my first time was when I dealt I was 16. I was 16 at the time, and I'm gonna get personal with it. It was around the time when I lost my virginity. That person was a complete and utter completely and utterly narcissistic. But I think it just narcissism, it attracts anyone. It just stays in the people who have codependency issue. It stays in their lives a lot longer, because anyone can attract the narcissist. You can attract the narcissist whether you're codependent or not. You can attract the narcissist whether you have, you have a secure attachment, very sturdy boundaries. Anybody can attract a narcissist, anyone. But the dynamics last much longer with someone who's a codependent or an empath, as most people would also put it. No worries, Madison. No worries. Oh wow, Andre, I ran out the front door while he took a break from the beating. 6 years of putting up with the abuse. No, mama. No. No. And I know it's hard. It's hard for people, especially people who've been in marriages and relationships with people who feel the need to to abuse them, because a lot of the time, and it can go both ways, guys, it's not just men, it could be women too. A lot of the time, they use physical abuse as a way to just constantly instill that fear in you. It's all about fear. It's like, just making you fear them so they can have the control, so they can do as they want, and which is why it's hard for a lot of people who have suffered domestic violence relationships, who are trying to get through recovery. It's very hard, it's very triggering, it's very And that gives a very severe case of PTSD. Cicely, my ex keeps riding by every few days. Maybe not on purpose, but it's annoying. How hard is it just to go a street over? If it's doable, she's not doing it, then clearly, because you haven't been in contact with her. So if you haven't been in contact with her and you haven't made any efforts or done anything, she may be just maybe riding around to see if you're there. If she doesn't have any need to really be coming in that area, but it's not uncommon with them, Cicely. Really is not uncommon with them. How can they not feel bad for physically hurting another human being? It's disgusting. I've never put my hands. Well, not unless I had to, like if I felt my life was threatened. But I never put my hands on anyone, and I never saw any reason as to why someone feels that it's okay to put their hands on other people. A lot of the time, narcissists take their kindness as a weakness, and being as they are envelope pushers, they like to push the buttons, they like to really push you to the edge. um it's like, I don't know, sometimes they do it out of rage, like when they have those fits of rage. um one of the good things I can say about my last relationship is that he never put his hands on me. He never got, he never did that. But when we had a moment in the car and he was going through narcissistic rage, very, very like dark rage. I mean, I literally like looked at him and I did not recognize him. I really thought he was gonna do something. Not saying he did, because he didn't, and I'm glad I got out of the car before I could even see if that would have been the case. But when he was going through that, he was. I'm just glad I listened to the voice in my head. I'm like, no, no, get out the car. All right, I'm out the car. I'm not. I can't be. Like what I saw, I guess it's kind of really hard to describe, but what I saw in that car, it looked like something out of a really scary movie. Like one of those like dark movies, and when you're sitting in the car, and I don't want to say that he came off like kind of psychopathic. I don't want to say that, because, but in the end, what happened, it was scary. It was scary for me. And I was sitting in front of someone that I loved dearly. For me to be scared, that says a lot. It really does. I'm sorry, guys. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone. Cicely, keep it blocked. Definitely keep it blocked. Do you think a restraining order would work on a narcissist? No, I don't think so. They cross boundaries, they're gonna cross your restraining order. So I personally don't think so. They may find ways to get around it, like stalking or whatever the case may be. Um, I'm pretty sure they might try to test your boundaries if you have a restraining order against them, to see if you really would be willing to call the cops on them. But if you put a restraining order against them, needless to say, you would possibly call the cops on them. Um, I'm sorry. Let me just. Yeah, Madison. I hope that you're able to get away from all of that craziness, because dealing with a sociopath is a lot worse than dealing with a narcissist. And even though they both run pretty much on the same spectrum. You know, sociopaths have a an even more devious way of doing things, very dangerously, and you know, a lot of uh, a lot of people who are either on death row or just, you know, in prison serving time, serving life, are sociopaths. Okay, and that's like on the extreme end of the spectrum. But my ex would never physically touch me. She would keep me up all night arguing and fighting. 1:30 in the morning. Then I wake up 4:30 in the morning to go to work. Then I come home and beat up the next day. Um, Come home and beat up the next day. Just can you clarify that for me? I just want to make sure. But I get what you're saying though. She wouldn't physically touch you, but she would keep you. So she's probably one of those that likes to hear herself talk. She likes to hear herself talk. Andrea, I put one on mine. He stayed away but sent flying monkeys. Those are the petty ones. I think those are the real petty ones. The narcissists who use flying monkeys, they act extremely petty. Like it's you know, one of the things I can say is part of me at one point felt sorry for my ex because he dealt with someone who, she has a lot of flying monkeys. She has a lot of people who watch, you know, like watches her, and she loves the attention, so she has a lot of people who would, you know, sit behind her as a flying monkey. But I felt sorry for him at one point, and then I stopped feeling sorry for him because I'm like, you know what, if this is someone that you claim did all of these things to you in your life, then what's the point of having them around? You know, what's the point? But in looking at everything, because he never sent, that I know of, flying monkeys towards me. He never ran a smear campaign on me. You know, she's more an extroverted narc. He's an introverted. He's a vulnerable narc. So vulnerable narcissists are pretty much, they're more the self-loathing type. They're the self-loathing type. They're not the types to really I mean, they'll utilize flying monkeys and other means of manipulation if need be, but they're just the types that are really more about feeling sorry about themselves and crying victim all the time. um okay, Rukia, have a great night, sweetheart, and thanks for being here. I definitely enjoyed having you. But they are definitely, they're the ones that are just like, you know, woe is me, woe is me, I'm the victim, and I don't know what to do, and my life is just shitty and crappy and blah 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 whatever, and I'm, you know, and they just feed off of the attention of the pity and the, you know, like when people try to console them or people try to make them feel better or people try to make them feel like, oh, you're a really good person, and you know, it's just, you know, it's not you, it's not you, like that's their way of getting their supply. I'm sorry, guys. Are narcissists suicidal? They can be. They can be. They can be suicidal. They are, narcissists are, when you have people that are not playing, well, first of all, that are not playing with the full deck. Um you're dealing with people who, you're dealing with people who have grown up with the idea that the world is just, it's kind of like the world is a cold world, and you have to be cold to survive in this world. You have to be, you know, it's kill or be killed. That's the kind of mentality they've grown up with. But narcissists are pretty much, they're walking trauma. They are walking triggers. Okay, they are walking with, you know, they're walking projections, made up projections. These are people that were pretty much just, I'm trying to just describe it in a way that I know how. These are people who have pretty much just grown up with ideas, ideals. Um, they grew up with no identities. They have no identity. They don't know themselves. They grew up with what was projected onto them. You got to remember something, guys. Narcissism starts at a very young age. Okay? It starts, we're not talking just teenage years. We're talking very young, like anywhere between toddler. Okay? And it's brought up. So it's pretty much stacked on over time. If a narcissist, I strongly believe, um, I'll do more research on it, but if a narcissist is in that stage of complete and utter self-loathing, um, depression, or they're basically just in that full-blown, full-term narcissistic collapse that they cannot take it anymore, yes, I do believe that they can be suicidal. Anyone is capable of being suicidal, but I do believe that a narcissist, just like any other human being, can be capable of it as well. Chatan, you're very welcome, sweetheart. You're very, very welcome. Green, yes. Social media has turned a lot of people narcissistic, basically a soapbox for idiots. Yeah, I've noticed when you guys do more and more like research and you guys learn more and more and you go through more and more of your healing and you start to set up more and more sturdier boundaries, you'll start to notice it. You'll notice it amongst your friends, you'll notice it amongst your family, you'll notice it amongst your social group. And it's not to say because, pathological narcissism and narcissistic traits are two different things. Narcissistic traits, anyone can have narcissistic traits. We can have narcissistic traits. But pathological narcissism it's pretty much with motives. It's something that is more dysfunctional. Society is formed, our society now has been formed through narcissism. Okay, we all have certain capabilities, we all have certain attributes, certain things that we contribute that may show some narcissistic traits. There's nothing wrong with that. There's healthy narcissism, and then there's unhealthy narcissism. Okay, where there's unhealthy, there's always going to be some form of healthy. Okay, where there's up, there's down, where there's right, there's left. So if there is unhealthy forms of narcissism, pathological narcissism, people who are just extremely self-absorbed and just extremely, they only have their own self-interest. You do have people that may have certain types of traits, but it's not nearly as bad as someone who is a pathological narcissist. Okay, I hope you guys got to check out the Dirty Dan on Netflix, the Dirty Dan mini series. That is a clear-cut example of pathological narcissism. Okay, if you didn't get to watch it, please watch it. It's on Netflix. He's a lawyer. He gets away with so much shit. Like in this show, I got so frustrated watching this show that I had to stop for a second. But then I went back at it again. And it's funny because he's sitting there telling her, what do I have to do to prove to you that I'm not lying to you, that I'm not cheating on you? I can't prove something that it's impossible because it's not true. And he spent so much time convincing her, pushing her to believe that she was the one going crazy. She was the one who was making shit up in her head. She was the one who was, creating all these ideas and these oh, EJ, thank you, sweetheart. Creating all these ideas that she's the one who is losing her mind and she's going to break up the family, and her crazy thoughts are just going to, it's going to tear everybody apart. And the reality was, he was actually doing everything that she was suspicious about, that she was questioning him on. She was, she was noticing certain things, changes in his behaviors, changes in his schedule, changes in, you know, his work routines. All that shit comes to surface. And then when you ask questions about it, exactly, Andrea, he was gaslighting her. When you ask questions about it, you're insane. You're making things up. You know, they always have an answer for everything. So if you ask them a question, they already have an answer for it. And I really wish you guys would watch this particular show, this particular of Dirty John. What am I talking about? Dirty John, and it's Dirty John, Betty. It's on Netflix. You should definitely watch it. It has Christian Slater in it. It'll give you the clear, concise. I mean, don't watch it if you're gonna get triggered, guys. I don't want anybody getting triggered, but it will show you step by step. And even a psychiatrist in the movie explains gaslighting, explains a lot of different things that were going on, which led to her snapping and eventually murdering her ex-husband and his new wife, which was the secretary that he was messing around with, which she accused him of, and he was telling her, no, it's all in your head. I don't know what you're talking about. Stop it. You're crazy. You're nuts. You know what they say? The ones they tell you not to worry about are usually the ones you got to keep your eye out for. But I don't know why it seems like whenever I get triggered by narcissistic traits, always gets activated. Does that mean more writing, more work? Is there something different that I should be doing? I don't know why it seems like whenever I get triggered, my narcissistic traits always get activated. Well, what narcissistic traits are you talking about? Like when you get triggered, what do you find yourself doing? What do you find yourself feeling? How do you find yourself, how do you find yourself acting? Because, again, we all have narcissistic traits, but just what do you find yourself doing? What do you find yourself feeling? More right, like what exactly, when your traits kick in, or what you feel are narcissistic traits, when they kick in, what exactly is going on in your mind at the time? What's happening at that precise moment? Yeah, Andrea, definitely watch it. It's good because it's giving you detail. This is based on a true story. Okay, this woman is currently in prison serving time to this very day, based on a true story. But that's another thing. Victims can snap, and they can really turn. Like they can turn onto the narcissist. EJ, she told me she had a miscarriage 6 a.m. and drove 4 hours right after miscarriage to my house. Let's be real. You wouldn't even have a thought to drive that far unless you lied about a miscarriage. She told you she had a miscarriage at 6 a.m. and drove 4 hours right after the miscarriage to your house. Basically, the narcissist only had love bomb and sex to give. That's it. So if I had my own, she would have only been good for sex, which I can get from any woman. Yeah, they think that they're, what they have and what they have to offer is oh so special, better than any and everybody else's. Not wishing her well, the feeling of wasted time, living a lie, vowing to never let anyone treat me like, oh honey, that's not narcissistic. That's not narcissistic. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you're going to have your feelings towards her. I would just say, as long as you're not sitting with a bunch of candles sitting in your house, you know what I'm saying, trying to conjure up the devil and throw some stuff at her, as long as you're not doing that, that's just a little beyond, but that's not narcissistic, sweetie. I got you. No, but that's not narcissistic. That's your natural human feelings. That's your natural human feelings. Feelings of wasted time. How many people here feel like they wasted their time? Feelings of living a lie. How many people here feel like they lived a lie? Vowing to never let anyone treat me like that ever again. How many people have vowed that? I vowed that. I vowed that. But that is not narcissistic. Not narcissistic. I mean, listen, not wishing her well, I would just say be indifferent with it, you know? Don't wish her bad. Don't do that, because if you try to manifest that, you know, with those thoughts and throw that out there, that'll end up manifesting in your life. So don't wish her bad or anything, but definitely just focus more on you. Focus. Remember what I told you. You know, your healing comes first. You have to focus on you. Make yourself a priority. Okay. When you make yourself the priority and you get yourself prioritized and you do everything you got to do for you, then you think about other people. But until then, don't worry about it. Yeah, no. Madison says I'm seeing weirdos in weird robes with candles chanting. Yeah, no, we don't do that here. We don't wish them bad. We don't wish them bad. We don't wish them ill will or anything like that, because God will not he won't ride with you on that if you're wishing them bad. He does things in his own time, in his own way, and he makes people pay for the bad deeds that they do on his own. He says, vengeance is mine. It's not yours. So your best bet is to just pray to God that his will be done in their life. That's the best you can do. But in the meantime, focus more on you. You don't have to worry about about them. Oh, my goodness, guys. But guys, EJ, do me a favor. My email is in the description. You can email me. All right, just email me, and if you want to just give me your story, give me your information. All right. Yeah. See, Butch, you have so many other people. You have so many other people here who've been through it all too. So don't feel bad. Do not look at that as being narcissistic. If anyone tells you that thinking about yourself, putting yourself first after going through a traumatic experience is narcissistic, I'll lend it to you. I'm gonna start doing that. Every time I want to say a curse word, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna just pull out the khakis. It's gonna stay right here. It's gonna stay right here. But guys, Madison, Amanda just put it up there. It's intuitive vibes, intuitive.vibes 1111 at gmail.com. Vibes is with a Z. It'll be in the description box, guys. All right. So if you guys want to shoot me an email, definitely do that. I always check. Norman, if narcissism is an illness, can they help it? They can try to get help for it. They can try. But the fact of the matter is that for a narcissist to get help, they have to come to terms with this particular disorder. They have to come to terms with their dysfunctions. And since a lot of them don't come to terms with it, since a lot of them don't really feel like they have the issues or the problems, they don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit to what the issues are. That's why they deflect all the time, because they would rather shift blame onto someone else before taking any kind of accountability. So narcissists are generally people who live in denial, constantly living in denial, and it's it's no, it's you, it's not me. You're a troublemaker, I'm not. You're the one causing problems, I'm not. You're the one who's toxic, I'm not. You're the one who needs to evolve, I don't. That's their attitude. So can they get help for it? Absolutely. But will they get help for it? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, EJ, definitely email me. All right. Oh, guys, Well, guys, you know, it's that time, almost 10 o'clock. And as much as I love being here with you guys, because I could be here all night with you guys, I got to get little man ready for bed. But it was a great live, guys. Great live today. I'm so glad that everyone. Oh, Green, you don't want to put me for president. Because if I become president, I'll have that White House. Listen, I'm Puerto Rican. Need I say more? Okay. Need I say more? I'm good. I'm good. I stay away from politics. Yeah, definitely, guys. Yes. Thank you, Chatan. He says, watch the video Why the Narcs Never Change. Okay. And you will get a clear understanding as to why they have no intention on changing. All right, guys. Oh my goodness. It's been such a long day. I thank you, Madison, Andrea. I love you guys. I love all of you. You guys have like been so awesome. You guys are such a great support group. And there are new people coming in each and every day. And I'm so happy. I'm so glad we're able to come together. Even if it's just once a week, we can come together and help each other out, talk to each other, comfort each other, let each other know that, yo, I got your back. And if, you know, you need it, I got it for you guys. This is going to be the go-to. Okay? Going to be the go-to. So, Butch, have a great night, sweetheart. Always a pleasure having you here. So, guys, I will see you all back here, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday. I may work on another video for you guys. I like doing the shorter clips because it gives you just a little something just to help you get through the week, you know? So I might do another one for you guys. And also work on a name, please. I still have not given him a name. I'm thinking of calling him Bob, but I'm not sure. Bob the Cactus. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But if you guys have any kind of names, leave it in the comment section for me. And come next week's live. If I have a cool name for him, we're gonna, you know, give him a cool name that you suggest. Thank you, Cicely. Thank you so much. Yeah, I get into it. You know me. When I get into it, I get into it. But guys, thank you so much for being here with me. I will see you all next week at the same time, same place. Be sure to give me a like on the way out. Much appreciated. And yes, Green, Latinos for life. I'm going to be a Latino for the rest of my life. So definitely very proud of it. All right, guys. But no Bob. Oh, we'll talk. We'll talk, Amanda. We'll talk. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Thank you so much for making this experience great. And thank you so much for making me yet again vulnerable and sharing more stuff with you. I feel so comfortable and so confident with you guys. I'm so appreciative of it all. Really, truly am. So I will see you all next week. I'll work on the next video. You guys will get the alert once the video is posted up. And if you have any suggestions, shoot me an email, leave me a comment, you know, that good stuff. All right. So love you all. Wish you all a great night. Have a great week. And I'll see you guys next week. Good night, guys. Bye.